If you're going, what is this for the block, and adding it into your push-ups and tricep push-up in your bar class, then this video is for you, because I'm going to explain what the point of it is. So when we put our hand on the block, what we're really doing is doing a staggered elevation push-up or tricep push-up, which is not a new thing in fitness. In a strength class, you might be cued to, like, say, hold a dumbbell in one hand and place your hand on the other to get that staggered elevation. So it's kind of cropped up recently in bar because it's in Bar Above's 96 release, which just released not too long ago. And it's a really good movement because the block not only gives an assistance, but it also trains genuine ranges of motion, so you can get the most out of your work and really be able to get into your triceps and in your pecs. So let's do some learning and I'll explain why that is. So when we do a push-up or a tricep push-up, one of the factors that really determine how efficient that move is going to be is the ability for your upper arm to come into internal rotation. So we definitely see that in the tricep push-up, where you need to bring your arms right next to your chest. But this is true in a regular push-up where your arms are out more 45 degrees. And that is because as you come in, your arm relatively comes more internally rotated as you come down, and then externally rotated as you come up. So the more genuine internal rotation you have in your arms, the more you're going to get out of this move. Now, the body can compensate and cheat not having internal rotation by making fake external rotation. And one of the ways it does this is to naturally dump the chest forward. So if you do this, you can get more internal rotation. Now, any instructor in any bar class is going to cue you out of dumping your chest out and coming more into that neutral spine, which then limits your ability to get into internal rotation if you do not genuinely have it. And that makes it really hard to, especially in those tricep push-ups, to actually get the work into your triceps without accidentally junking up your shoulders. Cue the block and what it can do. So let's take a look here. To get internal rotation, what is dependent on it is actually your ability to expand the upper front part of your chest wall. So the more compression you have, the less ability your arm's going to have to come into that internal rotation. And the more you can actually breathe into your chest wall and get that expansion, the further you're going to be able to go. So when we put a hand on the block and one hand on the ground, we're kind of creating this like diagonal slant in our chest. And what this is doing is sending blood to the front of that chest wall of the arm that's down on the ground. And the arm that's on the block, it's opening up this side into more external rotation so that you have more ability to fake that internal rotation when he comes down. So the block assists, and the bottom arm is working on actually getting genuine range of motion. So that's why this move is just so, so good. So as we come down, you have that blood opening up that side, and then you're able to come down more onto that side, really getting into that tricep and pressing up. And this side, since you're starting out a little bit more externally rotated, you have more room to fake that internal rotation. Again, shifting that work into your tricep as you come up. And then, of course, we switch to the other side. And then when we switch to the other side, now the blood comes here, so you can work on that genuine range of motion on the other side, while still getting into that tricep and just going in the range of motion that you genuinely have. And that's why the block is just really, really good for training and really actually getting into your pecs and your triceps. So with that said, let's do some tips to get the most out of this move when you're using the block. So here's some things to consider. First, when you're coming in and you have your hand on the block, you want to make sure you're actually getting good palm contact. And that means the ball of your thumb, ball of your pointer finger, and the outside edge of your hand. And you want to be able to get that on the block and on the ground. And that way, you have that kind of counter force kind of anchoring into the ground, and that will help with the rotation in the arm to make those micro moves so that you can come all the way down and all the way up. So you want to be able to press into that, and then it also helps protect the wrist because it kind of makes a cup in your hands, and then all the little bones and muscles are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So again, outside edge of your palm, ball of your thumb, ball of your finger, ball of your pointer finger. You should be almost able to do this without actually even using any of your fingers. But then, of course, you can put them down for more stability. And that's on both sides. Second thing to be aware of is you want to have both arms out starting long. So not locking your elbows, but you want to have them long. And because it's tempting, since you have that higher elevation on this arm, to kind of like junk your elbow out to the side. And then you're like starting like this, and then like your elbow can like go out to the side, and then you can totally miss all the work in this arm if you're not starting up in a good position. So that good position is nice and tall here, which of course means you're going to be turning to the side. And you want that side turn so that way your blood is pulling in that bottom arm's chest wall to help open it up. So to do that, you can think about kind of looking over at that hand or looking over to the side like that. And then you're having that nice square chest actually to actually go down into it. So that's the second tip. Make sure your arms are both even length lifting up. Third tip is then to make sure you're shifting forward so your elbow is actually over your wrist. Because when you're from here and when we come down, you want to make a 90-degree angle in that elbow where your elbow is over your wrist. And then pressing up. That's good for the joints and gets the max work into your triceps. Now, all of these things stand true for the traditional push-up as well. You're just doing it wider and you need less internal rotation. But all of those things are true. That stack, the hand presses, making sure you start long. So there we have it. Bar push-ups and tricep push-ups with this wonderful block. I hope that made sense and I hope that helped. Please let me know what you think about this. Check out our rest of our bar hack videos, and I hope to see you in another video. Have a great rest of your day.